Cartoon Network News Review Program, and today is Thursday, the 16th of August, 2018. I am Fatu Kamara, and Omar Wari will join us later. He's kind of like sneezing every 1 minute, but he'll be fine. He'll join us in a little bit. And we also have a guest in the studio that we'll be talking to, and in addition to that, we will be talking to another person via Skype, and he would also join us shortly. Just to one more time, welcome you all to this news review program. I am Fatu Kamara. Well, we will start with the Standard newspaper right here, and it says that President Barrow hints at staying for 5 years. That's the headline on the Standard newspaper today. This is all coming from an interview that a press conference that the president gave recently, and that's where all these headlines are coming from if you look through the newspapers today. So on here, President Barrow said that he does not need to discuss with coalition members or anybody about the much talked about supposed 3-year transition amongst themselves, or whether he should stay for 5 years as mandated by the Constitution. I have seen that many people are like, okay, is President Barrow saying that he does not need to discuss this with anybody? But that's how it came out on newspapers. And President Barrow is quoted on here as saying, we are in a transition period. We have things that we need to fix, and I do not think we should hold elections just for the sake of holding elections. The president is saying that we are here to correct the system, and in correcting that system, we have to follow due process. He told journalists at a press conference. He's saying, before you all talk about elections, we are in a transition, and we want to make sure that we follow due process. That is what the president is saying. And this is taken as saying that the president is kind of hinting to people to say that I am not going after 3 years. I want to stay for the, as mandated by the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, I want to stay for 5 years. So that is what is on the Standard newspaper today as headlines. And also, Barrow loses temper in response to Dr. Ceesay's criticism. That's also on the Standard. We'll talk about that now, and we'll also talk about it later with our guest who is currently in the studio. President Barrow has lost his cool. That's what Standard is saying when responding to criticism leveled against him by a critic of his administration, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay. Standard is saying Dr. Ismaila Ceesay is a critic of the Barrow administration. And it says Dr. Ceesay told Freedom newspaper that the Gambian leader has no idea about governance, describing him as clueless. That's what Standard is reporting. And Barrow was very, very angry when he responded to Dr. Ismaila Ceesay. I'm sure you have seen that response by the president, which some people say, hey, the president has a right to it. Is that democracy? And others are saying, no, I really don't think he should do that. They're saying that it is a new law for the presidency, but we'll also discuss that later. And UDP election petition adjourned to September the 6th. That is the High Court in Banjul on Tuesday adjourned the election petition case filed by Usainu Jabate, the United Democratic Party candidate in the Kuntawil administrative area, and it is moved to September the 6th. Rohi Samba appointed the TRRC Director of Communications. It's one Rohi Samba Jallo. She's been appointed Director of Communications, Outreach and Media for the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission that is on the verge of being set up right now. Mrs. Samba will oversee the work of a team of communication and reconciliation officers and work closely with the Executive Secretary and the commissioners to deliver on the mandate of the TRRC. She's said to have a lot of experience when it comes to the media. Julake license could have been revoked. That's also in the Standard newspaper. That's about the commission that is currently sitting on the Faraba incident that happened in Faraba. And Babylon protesters clarify, if you've been following the news, they did say that they spoke to the minister, Ibrahim Mbalo, the interior minister, and now they're saying, actually, no, we did not talk to him. We actually spoke with the minister of agriculture, who is Lamin Diba. He was the one that they spoke to, but Lamin is now at agriculture. They're saying that the Alcalo of Kombo Kerawan, Abdullah Jaji, was present at the press conference, even addressed the gathering, not his representative. They're trying to set the record straight right there. And A Gambian migrant arrested in Italy for allegedly killing compatriot. What this is one Sekou Saidi. He's a native of Kekutakunda village in Badibu district, North Bank region. He's been arrested right now in Italy by the Italian police on Monday. And XCDS Baji is Gambia's military attaché to China. He was first sent to Cuba to be the head of mission, but unfortunately that did not work out. And during the president's press conference, it came out that CDS, the former CDS Baji, is now going to be the military attaché to China. We actually tried reaching out to him, but we couldn't. And that's all in the Standard newspaper. And we have the Point newspaper right here. The Point newspaper is saying that the size of the military to be reduced. And that was also said by the President of the Republic, Adama Barrow. He said that during a press conference that right now they're working on that. He said with the military, we have started checking records, how people came into the army. And that is a process that is ongoing, he went on to say, because there's been a lot of talk that most of the people who are in the military are not Gambians. And others are saying that there are some people who are also not qualified. And for them to do this, it would take a process. So the president is saying this is a whole process and it is ongoing. We're not going to stop at just one thing. And now the former CDS, again, is on the Point newspaper. Former CDS appointed military attaché to China. He will be going to China. And right now the president said it is in the works and hopefully it will be done soon. Barrow downplays 3-5 years discussion that is still in the news. They're saying, okay, this man does not seem like somebody who wants to go. He actually wants to stay for 5 years as mandated by the Constitution of the Gambia. Faraba resident receives their threat. It is right here by its Famara IBL Jaju, an elder at Faraba Banta. He told the Faraba Commission on Monday that residents of Faraba threatened to kill him and burn down his house. That's also on the Point newspaper. And on the Voice, Barrow slams critics, and you have a photo of President Barrow and of course Dr. Ismail Cisse about, like I said, we all had that audio which we would discuss. We will talk about that later on. And hurricane commences in Banjul right now. As you all know, Tabaski is around the corner. It's on Tuesday, and right now the One-Tear is on, and it's the same in Serakunda area. And right now we have reporters who are out to look at the One-Tear and see how it is faring. And XCDS appointed again, that's on the paper, democratic transition impossible in 3 years. That's President Barrow. And Getch to launch on Saturday. Getch is owned by a Gambian who I guess has some partners. He is launching a tomato factory and I think a water company as well. He is Abubakar Jawara, a Gambian. And salary will be considered next year. That's also on the paper, and this is also coming from the president's press conference. Like I said, there are a lot of different headlines coming out of it. Health Minister tours central medical stores. That's also in the newspapers. An expert witness outlines requirements for issues, and education is urged government to change the system. And they have a photo of Said Mati Jau and, of course, Musa the Scribbler. They're on the paper saying that the government need to change the education system. And, of course, the presidency and the critics, that's an editorial on the Fourier newspaper. That is all in the news review today. But like I said, we have an interview that we will be having here today. Omar Wali arranged an interview, and he actually has a very terrible cold, but he will join us. Omar, so what we're going to do right now, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will continue with the interview. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back.
Replace your 3G SIM card today for the real official 4G SIM and receive 1 GB of internet data for free.
The One-Tear is now moved to buffer zone. This year, the Tobaski One-Tear is being done at buffer zone. In fact, yesterday, the Lord Mayor came to pay a visit to the vendors there. And when some of them raised their concerns like, not lack of sales, but maybe, the council should help them do more publicity so that, the people are aware. Because, considering the problems that we've been having in Serakunda, trying to organize One-Tear there. So this year, the council deemed it fit to relocate the One-Tear from Serakunda to buffer zone. so as to alleviate some of the difficulties that the residents were facing in Serekunda. Because as you all know that the place is a little bit congested, and there was usually problems with the residents as to getting access to their properties. The council is not forcing anybody to go to buffer zone. What the council is saying that this year, the one-tier that the council normally organize is not being done at Serekunda. The council is organizing the one-tier at buffer zone. So all vendors and customers could go to buffer zone. But then, what council doesn't want is like the inconvenience that the residents of Serekunda were complaining of vendors, filling the streets and making their houses inaccessible. So if council is moving from Serekunda because of those complaints, we don't want to see the same vendors filling the street again. That's why the council is working with the police to make sure that the streets are cleared from vendors or hawkers who normally ply the road during this time or occupy the road during this time. So that's what council is enforcing. But we are not forcing anybody to go to buffer zone. It's just that we want the road, to be free so that people could go about their daily businesses with less hassle. So if you see anybody loitering around your house or doing one-tier around by your door, just call the police if you could, or just let some of your councillors know, so that we would inform the police and make sure that they all go to buffer zone.
From AfriCell, it's always real and it's for free.
Where AfriCell goes, no one has the speed to follow.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the News Review program, and I am Fatou Kamara. I'm now joined by
Omar Wali.
Well, Omar Wali has an interview. He has a guest scheduled, so now go on.
Honorable Sidinjai, 100% Barrow, welcome.
Thank you very much, Omar, and thank you, Aji Fatou.
Thank you. You're welcome.
There is this trending hashtag going, if I like, where were you? Where were you during the impasse?
I was around. I was in town.
And where was Barrow at the time?
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to say thank you to you and to those viewing and listening. I come across with this, where was Barrow or where were you? Because, President Barrow, in his quest to set the record straight, he indicated and told every Gambian the struggle he underwent and his partners during, in fact, before the campaign period, the political impasse, and since 2016 to date, and his desire to give every Gambian the right to freedom, the right to express him or herself, right to to be proud as a Gambian. And some people ask these questions. Others indicated that Barrow was in around, he went to Senegal. I say yes, they are not politicians and they are not strategists. You see, those of us who were in the APRC camp and who knew politics and at the height of the impasse, we really knew that the biggest and the fiercest blow Barrow ushered the APRC camp was for his acceptance. So there were a lot of negotiations, a lot of strategies with the international community to get him out of this country, but he refused. But at the end of the day, he decided to leave. And President Barrow, at the time, leaving Gambia was the biggest blow and the fiercest blow he gave to the APRC camp. And that, in fact, ended the impasse. It was a strategy. Those who knew about it said this is the end of the negotiations.
So you agree with me that you were part of that problem, making Barrow to leave this country, because others deserted Jammeh ministers. You stood by him. And I remember an interview said that you will stand with Jammeh through thick and thin.
Thank you very much. Yes, I was with Jammeh up to the last minute until I switched allegiance to His Excellency President Barrow. But as I said earlier on, in fact, in my that interview, I indicated that whosoever thought I have offended him or her, either during the impasse, after the impasse, before the impasse, in my political career, you saw it, my unreserved apology to every Gambian that I have offended. Let me also say this. I told people the reason why I supported President Barrow. among other things, his leadership quality and my belief that his ardent desire to transform this country and to fulfill his promises to the Gambian. Additionally, you know, he is my family member. Our two grandparents shared the same parent, the same mother and father. So, but at the time, President Barrow needed to leave the country, because if you know what I'm talking about, you see, if Barrow was in the Gambia here and Jammeh, our camp also, we were here, the negotiation could have gone, you know, protracted negotiations.
But the mayor, no, let me come in there. You said something. You said you related to President Barrow, but when did you know this? Because when Jammeh was here, Barrow, we wanted everybody, almost every Gambian wanted Barrow to be president because we needed that change so bad. But you, according to what the people are saying, you were trying to be on the side of the Jammeh, so that Barrow would not come in.
Yes.
But when did you know that you related? That time you did not know?
No, I knew that during the parliamentary campaign.
Also,
I have never said it here. Yeah, during the parliamentary elections.
Also, you did not know when?
No, I didn't. In fact, let me say it again. I have been saying it over and over. Had I knew we were related, I would have been one of his campaign managers, or let us in.
Now that he is president, or even when Jammeh was here, you would be.
I said if I knew that we were related, I was going to be one of his campaign managers during 2016 campaign. But what I'm saying is, you see, people don't know. Those of us who were at the UDP, or those of us who knew President Barrow, let me just say these things. You know, remember he contested against some years back as a member of parliament. Right. And there was a time also he wanted to contest. His people wanted him to contest badly, and he had huge following. But because he's loved for the United Democratic Party and loyalty, remember the UDP withdrew at the last minute from the parliamentary elections. And then his people say, even though the UDP withdrew, we want you to contest as an independent candidate. He said, no, I am a loyal supporter of the United Democratic Party. And the UDP decided to pull out, and I will never contest. That shows how loyal he is. And for me, at the time, I was in APRC. And you know, you remember, I've been a member of parliament for 10 years.
Yes, that's true.
And I've been national executive member of the APRC for 11 years. So I think it is only prudent at the time, as a loyal supporter of the APRC, to continue support the APRC through thick or thin. But as I said, I want to commend President Barrow for embracing me, and also to apologize to all Gambians for whatever.
Someone just said that the apology is accepted. I'll let Omar go.
Okay, you said, but many people said Barrow, although there is no permanent friend, they always say in politics, no permanent enemy is a permanent interest. But what makes Barrow to be so much interested in you? Do you have that political following?
No, he is. You know, you don't. It is not personal. You don't have to say so much interest. And he indicated that he wants to reconcile the country. And for me, I have given my 100% support and loyalty to him and his government.
But you can give that support without joining the 100% Barrow.
No, but what I'm even saying, there are people who were who had the same agenda as President Barrow when he came in. There were people who were fighting with him before he reconciled APRC. Why don't he reconcile his own camp first?
You know, in politics,
yes,
it's about numbers.
So those people don't have numbers? No, they put him in power.
No, allow me to finish. Yes. It's about numbers.
Yeah.
He has his numbers, his surrogate, his ally there with him. Now what he need to do is to get other people also to reconcile, to add to already the people he had, either the UDP and also coalition partners. And then also, you know, the more numbers you have, the better for you in politics. Either UDP or APRC or NRP or
do you have a following?
Well, it's you know, and everybody knows, and I enjoy a large following, not only in the Gambia but outside the Gambia.
A simple answer will do. Do you have a following?
I have a huge following, both in the Gambia and outside. They're in the Gambia and they're in.
Are these people who watch Sidinjai and laugh and say, "Oh, here we go again," or are these serious followers?
I have serious political followers in this country, and you can attest to that. Everybody knows that, and I'm very influential in this country.
Okay, Sidin Jai said he's very influential in the country. He did say that he also has a huge following. So if you are influential
as you claim, you claim to be 100% Barrow, you join Barrow, and still now you are not given any position. What does that mean?
Omar, I want to thank you very much. You're very smart. You want to know whether I'm given position or not. I'm a Gambian. I am a Gambian citizen and a private citizen. I just want to give him direct answer. No, I'm not given. I'm a private citizen like any other Gambian.
But you are in contact
and enjoying my rights. to support President Barrow and to support his government, and also to help advocate for his
So
program.
today are you UDP? Because you came in yellow. There are some other UDP supporters who are saying, oh, Sidinjai, please, you need to take this yellow off. And others are saying, oh, it looks nice on you. Are you UDP?
You know, when I was even in APRC, there is another, I have another yellow one. That one is this Nyeti Morso. Sometime when they said, oh, today you are UDP still. I said, APRC, UDP, GDC, you know, callers were here before those political parties.
Oh, man, do you have a question?
Do you want Barrow to go for 3 years or 5 years?
Not about whether I want Barrow to go 3 years or 5 years. For me, let me say these things. In fact, when I was in APRC, I said, some people interviewed me when I was at the APRC. I said, President Barrow should serve 5 years because he's been elected for 5 years. And I want to thank you. Whenever journalists try to take that issues as a sweep or criticize and try to ask people, they'll say whether Barrow will agree to the agreement or he will he will honor the constitutional mandate to serve 5 years. The Constitution states that clearly. An elected president of the Gambia. Once you are elected president, you shall serve for a term of 5 years. That's what the Constitution said. It's very clear. And some time ago, I saw somebody who claimed to be legal luminary. He stated that it will be amount to civil coup and he will take that piece of gentleman agreement to the courts. I laughed. I said,
who is that person in question?
And in fact, he said, I read it in one of the, he said, if people don't sponsor him, he is thinking of probably, I said, you want people to come and sponsor you? Are you serious? Legal luminary, you say a practicing lawyer, you take a gentleman agreement, you say, I want to challenge the constitutionality of a country's constitutions against a gentleman agreement. That's a joke.
Many people said, you always mention this thing, constitutions. What do you mean when you say constitution? Because as far as you know, there is only one constitution.
The 1997 Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, and is the supreme law of this country.
Okay,
so
now
you're
it's clear.
talking about one constitution?
Oh, not constitution.
That's the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia.
Yeah, Omar Wadi, you'll be okay. So
He's
now,
my good friend. I don't know why
Omar Wadi, let me ask him this, because he's saying he has a huge following, but someone just said in the comment section that the last parliamentary elections you had less than 500 votes.
He is entitled to his opinion, and I want to thank him sincerely, and I respect that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and you go to Nyanija, the people in Nyanija, everybody will tell you, I have a large following.
So
and
you
today, as I speak, all in fact, there is no APRC now in Nyanija. Everybody is President Barrow.
No, but President Barrow does not have a party. Are they UDP?
President Barrow, he is the president of the Republic.
Are those people UDP?
You know, we have the UDP, we have the NRP, we have the GPDP, we have other parties as coalition partners.
Yes.
If you are President Barrow 100%, you are UDP 100%, you are NRP 100%, you are GPDP 100%, you are coalition partner 100%.
Yeah, but when President
so I am 100%
speaks,
UDP, I'm 100% NRP, I'm 100% President
so
Barrow. I am
when President Barrow speaks, he would say, our leader, referring to UDP. So then you are UDP. Just say yes, Siri, and we move on. Are you UDP? Are you UDP?
Father, you know.
No, just a yes or no answer.
You cannot put words in my mouth.
We are putting your own words in your mouth.
You never put words in. You cannot put words in my mouth. I am UDP 100%, NRP 100%, coalition 100%, President Barrow 100%.
Oh my God.
Now, Sidinja, I will come to you, but now let me turn to Father herself. You were outside when, you know, there's all these things. You know, the issue of
I told you are not allowed to be interviewing me.
Father Kamara, you know, I'm not my co-host. You are here in your capacity now as a journalist who stood against Jammeh. Barrow was asking people where were they. I know you were in America at the time fighting Jammeh. Even we discussed this thing. I said you are more correct and so on. Barrow said he single-handedly financed the ferry and other things. Can you tell me how much money did you people mobilize for this coalition government?
You know, I had a conversation with a few people who actually are supporting Barrow's, you know, that statement that he made. And I was trying to understand what exactly is Barrow talking about. Because when he says he's funded that, which part? Because, you know, we had a convention and there was when UDP nominated him. Was it that part? Was it during the convention, the main campaign that they did? Or was it during the election time? So somebody told me he's referring to after UDP nominated him. Okay. That's what that person said, because I don't think he will talk about the whole...
Yeah, in fact, I heard him. He made it very clear. He said after the nominations as UDP, there was a budget before they went on
so
nationwide tour.
So he did 80% of that?
He said they went nationwide tour. There was a budget. I think he even stated the amount. And you know, you see what President Barrow was saying, and even in any political party, you will have a budget. And let's say your budget is $10, and 80% of that is $8.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that people might not support or you might not accept, but you have given that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, even if President Barrow did 100% of that budget, UDP gave him something and Gambia gave him something that he never even thought about having.
No, he never thought. He never
Now,
stated that he.
I'm looking for an answer.
No, President Barrow has never
no,
stated that.
no.
No, he never stated that he
Yeah.
sponsored 100%.
No, he said
but
nobody gave him money.
He said 80%.
nobody. He said
Now,
nobody sponsored me.
we don't have
he
a
said-
problem with
he
his
said
contribution.
nobody-
Now I'm asking, because so many monies were channeled through her. How much money did you send?
Well,
her?
actually,
Whether before nomination, after nomination, whatever, how much money?
Okay, actually what happened, I wasn't part of the people who were sending the money, but I was part of those who were raising the funds. Because the Fatu Network would link with other radios, and Tukulor C, the Patas, the Demba Baldes, the Mamadou Kurubaris. They're the ones who were at the GDF. They're the ones who were handling the money part. What we were doing is to raise the funds. And I know that we raised over $100,000. I can remember that. And I do know that the night that Barrow was going to be nominated, we had like 500 calls. I could remember that vividly. Myself, Juka, and Tukulor were on the phone. They did not have enough money for his nomination to pay at the IEC. I remember we had to send money. So whether some different things were happening,
No.
but what we were told was
Who
that.
received that money? Because that money in question, we understand that someone received that money. Who was that person?
Actually, only 2 people received money, according to the GDF press statement. It was the bulk of the money was all received by Fatmata Tambajang Jallo at that time. She was the person that we were talking to more. And the other part, I think, which was over a $1 million, was the one that was received by the Dabo guy, Alaji Dabo. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Barrow made it very clear. He talks about the UDP tour that was before the coalition partners, and he said there was a budget, and he has financed the 80% of it. And then those who were at the UDP will also tell you that he has been very generous in terms of financial support or aid to the UDP over the periods. You know, that shows how. You know, it only elucidates further how sacrifice President Barrow enjoyed during the period while he was in the UDP, and also during the UDP tour, and also the presidential campaign, and up to now. And in fact, he indicated many people were approached to come and contest the 2016 election, but you know, at the time people feared our government, as
Yeah, but
he said he he was really just expressing how the effort he has done in response to people who were saying, where was Barrow?
No, but let's be honest here. That effort was the last effort to come. Actually, maybe his came before yours. No, let me finish. Maybe his came before yours, but it was among the last efforts. What happened is this struggle was being fought even before I joined the struggle. This struggle started in 1994.
I agree.
That was when people like Coach Pasamba Jau, because this is already there. I mean, nobody can change
I agree.
this.
Let me say this.
No, let me finish.
Yes.
The problem everybody is having now is President Barrow coming out, beating his chest, saying, I put this money, I did this, I did this, I did that. All that eyes that he's saying, that came within 3 months. Remember, there were people who died for this struggle. All those things happened. But the fact that now he's claiming that he is the reason why this change came, I think that is very dishonest.
Well,
no, let me come.
Okay, let me interrupt you a bit. I think we have someone here on the line. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, let me just respond to
Before
that.
you come, we have somebody on the line. Before
Yes.
you come. Hello? 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 I think we'll move on.
Let me say that time is
Okay,
not.
okay, sorry. The person is on the line. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, welcome to the show, Mr. Bayo, Cecilia Bayo.
Thank you.
There has been a lot of interesting things going on in the country recently. As someone who also participated, what do you make of those things, ranging from the cabinet reshufflement and several other things? Hello?
Yeah,
I think we have an appeal that, I was telling you 4 o'clock.
Okay. I think we'll come back to you, Mr. Bayo. Well, let me finish with this.
Let me just respond with what Fatu was saying. He said Barrow came at the late. You see, President Barrow, in fact, most of his interviews, and even during the political, just concluding the campaign, he recognized the sacrifice many Gambians in and outside endured during the period of 22 years. He even recognized and appreciates others who, as a result of their sacrifice, they lost their life. You know, you hear him sometimes even name names. So that shows that he recognized the effort of each and every Gambian at the time, and also recognized those who died at the time. And that's the reason why, in fact, he established, he said, there's going to be, you know, this TRRC. And then he talks about also a lot of issues, even in today's paper. He talks about his efforts to put, you know, the due process, and to build institutions, and also institution of democracy, to strengthen the rule of law. You know, all that shows how President Barrow recognized each and everybody's contributions. But in addition to that, he was only partly responding to people who keeps asking this rhetorical question, where was President Barrow? So he was trying to tell them, yes, you think, or everybody, if Gambian or politicians think that I, as Adama Barrow, have not done anything, I have really also contributed towards the change that we have today. And he has told people that because of his sacrifice and with his partners and surrogates, that's why today he gave Gambians freedom to express.
But you know, when this whole thing came, nobody said he did nothing. We all thought that he contributed something. But if you try to downplay the contribution of others, that is when yours come to the spotlight.
No, he's not in any way trying to down.
Yeah, he said it. He said,
Yeah. You know, people were questioning him. People questioned him. So in fact, you look at it, it was a question that was posed to him, and he was responding.
No, but you don't have to answer it like that.
No. You know. Also, it is also not correct to say that this is how, or I want to put words into your mouth. This is how I
want to tell you this. You know how people feel. You know, when you're right here sitting, there are some people saying, why is Sidinjai on here? And my heart is hurting and all of that. We're seeing all those comments. No, let me just finish. I'm just trying to say an example.
And people are even telling me, why Omar Wali?
Yes, why? So then let me say this. You see how Barrow was feeling when he was told that whatever stuff that Dr. Cisse said, you see how he was feeling irritated and stuff like that? That's how some people feel when they see you here.
No, you know, Ajifadu.
Yes. So I think Barrow would understand our frustrations now.
That's not correct.
Yeah.
You know, I said it here, and I'll continue to say it. Wherever you are, there are people who will appreciate you. Let's be honest.
He has created a conducive environment.
Omar, I want to go.
Okay, that's
others will say no, because this is not him. It is Gambians who voted for this thing.
Yeah, you know, they are entitled to it and their opinion. And President Barrow indicated that it's a culmination of effort, collective effort of all Gambians.
No.
Yeah, and in fact, he's gone further. I said during the nationwide campaign.
But I think now what you need to do, if you are going to be honest to him, you know, when President Barrow came, everybody loved him. Because people are like, oh, this guy is very humble, he's very nice. And you know, you were close to Jammeh, you know how people manipulated Jammeh. We hope that he would also not be manipulated like that.
Yeah,
because now he's fighting with people who put him in power. And that's wrong. You don't fight with those people.
Yeah. All of us, it's our hope that President Barrow will continue to deliver to the Gambian people, and he will continue to ensure that his desires, his aspirations, and his promises to Gambian people, he fulfill them. And it's our responsibility as a nation to
if he adds his 9 days, I think he wants 10 or 11 days.
Let me comment. Let me comment, Omar.
They're saying if he added that to his CV.
No, let me comment, Omar. Let me say these things. I have said it, and I am proud. And today, that guy, when you go to the oath book, you will find his or her name there, and my name is there.
The oath book,
My name is there, and I have served this country as a member of parliament for 10 years. I have served this country as a minister. I have served this country as an executive member of the political party for 11 years. And I'm more influential than that. Yeah. But I recognize his or her own opinion. Okay. I want to tell the person that if he or she wants, he can even reach out to me.
You said you were paid. You said you were paid.
I was.
You were paid 9 days.
I am usually, as a journalist, you know, as a nation, I want us to be, when we are criticizing or when we are contributing, let us, because when people are talking about issues and facts, you know, let's talk about those things constructively.
Yes.
We don't have to be sentimental. We don't have to be these trivials and these foolish things. Let's be serious. Let's contribute towards nation building. And I want to thank you because creating this Fatu network, you have employed some people. Even though Omar Wali would have been squabbler today to Alucisa's Sue, you've been, you know, wiping Alucisa's shoes.
Tell him
but remember, Barrow said he also created employment when he came. So
it's evident for everybody to.
Omar Wali is a correspondent
so I want to thank
German Public International Broadcaster.
Yeah, definitely. No, that was joking. Like, I know. You did well at the Observer, BBC, and you know.
Yeah, and you did well at the National Assembly.
You know, me, I want to say that when I was in the National Assembly and when I was in Parliament, I serve this country, and Omar, you know, what I am capable of. So, but most of these critics, they are entitled to criticize.
No problem.
Thank you. We all have that. You know, Sidi, I just want to say that we all have people who criticize. So, I'm glad you understand that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sidin Jai. That is Sidin Jai, 100% Barrow. He was served as a minister for 11 days.
That's how you introduce him?
That's how I'm going to, yeah.
And also?
Yeah, that's during the political impasse. And later Toronto say...
And also, not only the staff. Omar, you know, you are
say
biased.
Properly.
You always say, yes, you always introduce me as, you know, as a journalist, you have to be plans, and you have to, you know, you always say that when you introduce me 9 days minister, you knew I said,
I did not do that.
How did you do that?
You see, if you want to be,
no, he was the 10 years.
No, I made that correction. Ask him.
Oh my God.
No, but I'm coming. I did not finish. I said, Sidin Jai, 11 minutes minister.
No, let him finish.
Let me finish.
So now, Sidi, how do you want to be introduced? So that way I can take notes.
I just want to be introduced as Sidin Jai.
Sidin Jai, yes.
I'm a private citizen. You know.
But you're serving some capacities, and we have to make sure that people know that.
Let's be fair. Introducing someone saying Sidin Jai 9 days minister. That's wrong.
No,
but that's wrong.
Allow me to continue. Allow me to finish, please. Let's have the you are here. This is the fourth time. He's introducing me. He only said 9 days minister. I have served in this country for 10 years, and I have high regard for him when he was in the Daily Observer.
Exactly.
I had good working relations.
Yes.
So you know, to be fair.
So if we say
let him.
If you want to say that, to be fair, for people to say, yeah, this one is a good journalist. You know. Members of the media must, you know, the pen is powerful. And if you're in a society, you want people to regard you as a very good journalist. I see no reason why he can't also recognize the fact that I've been a member of parliament for 10 years.
10 years, that's
journalism.
Of course, but that is coming. You just interrupted me.
No, but Omar, he said this is not the first time.
He served as a minister, he served as a member of parliament.
Next time you come, I will introduce you and I will say all
No, only Sidin Jai. Yes. If you want to talk about my political...
No, I'll say, how about if I say Honorable Sidin Jai?
No.
He served, wait.
I'm not more in parliament
now.
No,
but wait. He served 10 years in the National Assembly and he was minister for... Yeah, that minister will have to come. You said you were in the old books.
You know, for me, to be honest, yes. When I went to Mecca, when I came, people said, we call you Alhaji. I said, no, I'm not Alhaji. And even in parliament, if I'm to write my name, I just say Sidin Jai. They say, oh, you are honorable Alhaji. I said, no.
Oh, you are Alhaji?
Yes.
You went with Jammeh?
No, I didn't. Jammeh was in, I went with, I think, the mother.
With the late assembly.
Yeah. So I said that I am Sidin Jai. That's my name. So when I write mine, I just write Sidin Jai.
Thank you so much, SK Jai.
Thank you very much, Sidin Jai. So Sidin Jai, but before you go, just one thing, and then that will be it. And that is the response that Barrow made to Dr. Ismail Cisse. Many people are saying he shouldn't have gone that route. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, whatever you say, anything that you do, some will support it, some would against it. And I think President Barrow was trying to indicate that as a result of what he has provided.
Excuse me, we will come to you in a moment. Just stay on the line there. I will come to you in a moment. He's wrapping up.
Yeah, you know, some people will tell you that President Barrow was trying to indicate that
Yeah.
Because of the freedom of expressions
Right.
he created, he ushered in this Gambia. Dr. Cisse and others hide behind that cloud and to cast venom on the persons of President Barrow. And that Dr. Cisse, as a so-called intellectual, is expected to criticize constructively that will help to save this country for generations and generations yet unborn. But not otherwise. As a political scientist, I expected Dr. Cisse to state that for him, he believed that Africa now will never condone military takeover. Rather, whenever he talked about military taking over after President Barrow is re-elected. Remember that some time ago also he talked about the military. That's why I stated that the military should come either to dissociate themselves from Dr. Cisse's comment or otherwise. And as you know,
I think Omar Wali has someone waiting. I'll have to continue here, but just to say that the freedom of expression that we have, Barrow did not give that to us. No, we fought. Yeah, everybody.
No, but him being the forefront.
No, he cannot do anything about that because that's how he came.
He has been the forefront.
No, he cannot do anything.
No, I'm not saying he can do anything. But
thank you. But thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sidin Jai, private citizen. Now I think I have Cecilia Bayo on the line now. Hello, Mr. Bayo.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon, how are you?
Good afternoon, I'm doing well.
Okay.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Many see you as a diplomatic or a politician. You don't stay in this country, you keep on moving up in and out of the country. Why are you not why are you not in this country to participate, to take part, or you only come when there is something else, you keep going and coming?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Simply because the work is not over. And everyone now can understand and can believe that the work is not over. If I understood, I was following you, you just invited Sidin Jai, Honorable Sidin Jai, isn't it?
Right.
So, you know, in the spirit of reconciliation, we should work with the past, but at the same time, we should prepare the future. And we cannot prepare the future with a majority of guys who are in the entourage of President Barrow right now. I'm seeing, I don't like to criticize people, but honestly speaking, right now, I think I should stand and give also my point of view, because I was among those one who tried to bring the new Gambia we have today. So I cannot anymore stay as a spectator and criticize through social media and the rest.
Oh, okay. You said. Okay, carry on. Carry on. Can you hear me? Hello?
No, I think there is some connection issues
Internet problem
there with his line. But Omar is going to continue and then...
Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, now the question is, you said you contributed, participated in bringing this new government in place. But why is it that you don't have your own share?
You know, I already answered that question, but I will tell you one more time that I did not fight Yaya Jammeh to obtain something back.
Okay.
But everyone knows in the Gambia that I had a political ambition because of the situation we had in the Gambia. But right now, I'm not making any noise to obtain something from the government. What is important for me is to prepare my generation to lead tomorrow. And the coalition government right now in the Gambia, and I can even see there's almost no coalition government, because from the 7 political parties and candidates from the beginning, I think maybe you have only Dr. Cisse, Dr. Aissatou Toure.
Right.
Dr. Cisse is the actuality. That's why Dr. Aissatou Toure, sorry. Dr. Aissatou Toure, maybe I think Henry Gomez is there, Ousseynou Dabo, and that's all. So, honestly speaking, I have time. I have time to contribute again, and I'm still young, so I don't want to to rush and to look after position in the Gambia or in that government. That's not my priority, Mr. Wali.
Now, when are you coming to settle finally, like other political parties are doing? You have your bureaus, you have executive members, and so on.
Mr. Wali, when I start to fight the tyranny in the Gambia, I have my roots. I already have my roots in the Gambia. I create a movement called Wato Chita. I have my people working in the country, in the 7 regions, in the Combo areas, in the rural zone. Right now, I can say I'm more a philanthropist than a politician, because I really want to help my people to have a better life. And that's not a utopia. I'm really doing a lot of actions to help the people. But I think the time has come for me now to start to enter in the political arena. But I should enter step by step. And the first step for me, it is to observe the situation and to give a suggestion or an advice to that coalition government represented by the president, duty and my first action.
Yeah.
Then we will see. When the time will come, I will surely come back definitely and contribute politically day after day in the Gambia.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Bayo, for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And Omar, before we go, there's a press statement that just got here, and it's from the Minister of Foreign Affairs that the Foreign Minister Tangara was special envoy of President Barrow. He met with President Obiang of Equatorial Guinea. And it says the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad of the Republic of the Gambia, Dr. Mamadou Tangara, on August 13th, met the President of Equatorial Guinea, His Excellency President Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo, at the Presidential Palace in Malabo. He was actually there as special envoy of President Barrow, and they said the visit was meant to further strengthen the already cordial relations between the two friendly countries. The visit accorded them the opportunity to explore ways of strengthening and widening cooperation between the two countries. And do you know something? You know, when Jammeh was here, I don't think we have this kind of relationship with Equatorial Guinea, but now that is coming.
Yeah. I think, like they said, Gambia was is now reaching out to some of the countries in the world.
Yes, Equatorial Guinea was only when there are meetings there. I could remember some
African Union
Summit,
Summit
African Union Summit and stuff like that. That's when Jammeh would go, and that would be all about it. Yes, and now your cold is away after seeing this interview. See, it was good that you decided to come. Yeah,
so I think that's all we have today.
Yes, that is all that we have for today. Just to say that we would like to thank you all for your time. And Omar Wali, I would ask him where he was.
Actually, I was here.
Where were you? Where? Where?
In the Gambia. Let me tell you this.
Yes.
What happened when this impasse started? I was here because I report for DW, and actually BBC sent 3 people. Umaru Fofana came first. It wasn't enough. They sent Thomas Fessy, was the West Africa correspondent, and they even sent the Africa correspondent Alester Litted. So I was there, and I was like, I decided to back off because you have 3 people from BBC. So I said, okay, I was focusing more on Deutsche Welle. And that's where I interviewed CDS Baji and Senator. So when I went to the airport, or somebody at the BBC called me and said, you interview someone, do you have anything for us? I said, no. He said, but you have, I said, but we have 3 other correspondents from the BBC. He said, it doesn't matter. So I was here. What happened was I went to the hotel. When I met the cameraman, they said, you cannot go to your house. You have to be staying here. Because they thought that the inauguration was going to take place at the hotel, because that's what Halifa Saleh told us. In the event that they seal all these places, we will be there. But I was here. Even when Jammeh was at the airport, I was there and I saw him. And people were crying, fainting, and so on.
So you were there during that time?
Yes, I was here. No way. No, I did not go. Because, I have a belief here. I have a family. It doesn't make sense for me to go and leave them behind. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so you decided to
no, I have to stay. And secondly, there was so many disinformation at the time. There were people on internet, they were misinforming people. There were people who just don't know. At the time, so many misinformation. So at least some of us have to stay.
This person said you were in East Africa.
No, I was not in East Africa. So at the time, we need at least some journalists on the ground to inform people. And that was what exactly was happening. And even the day of election, when they shut down internet, a foreign ambassador called us and said, come to my house, we will provide this and that for you. And that ambassador did that because he knows the role we are playing in this country. And when we went to the house, the ambassador had to leave his house, go to the embassy, and brought some things for us, communication, because actually I was DW as a satellite, and some people had satellite phones. But that wasn't enough. We had access to so many other things at the time. So I did not go. And
but you know something, you guys did great.
Yeah.
Because we were in the diaspora and we were very worried about you because we were hearing stuff of attacks of the, they would put videos on WhatsApp, pictures and say, oh, they're on their way to Gambia. So it was very scary. So that's why I always say, yes, the people in the diaspora tried, but the ones who stayed here, they, I don't know how you guys did it, but you did great.
Yeah, of course. That was it.
Yeah, it must be really tense. I heard the streets were quiet. Keraba Avenue, there was nobody there. Somebody was telling me.
The hotel I was staying at the time, I was 10 o'clock midnight, there 10 p.m. I went out. Even the dogs were away. I didn't even see them. So a lot of things happened. Some people, anyway. It is history now.
Well, yes, actually it all ended well, alhamdulillah. Jammeh left the country and President Barrow is right here. And that's why each time anything happens, we're like, President Barrow, don't go that route. I think with him is because people are saying that we did all of this together with him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. Sometimes people are going to put pressure on him, but it's not because they hate him. It has definitely nothing to do with hate. It's just pressure, Sometimes we feel that, you are not doing things really, really fast, or you say something that we get angry with, but that doesn't mean that the Gambians don't love you. I guess it's just tough love, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you all for your time. We really appreciate this, and we will be back again. I don't even know Monday because the Tobaski is on Tuesday.
Tuesday, right.
Are you going to be here?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So we'll be here on Monday, inshallah. Thank you all for your time and do have a very good weekend. It's Friday tomorrow, and we do not work on Friday. We don't do the news every Friday, but we'll be here Friday. If there's any breaking news or anything, we'll be live on air. Thank you very much for your time. I am Fatou Kamara.
Amar Wali, I am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello and welcome